This is the journeyman, had not won a tour since 2017. I mean, it's a fabulous story. He's from Syracuse, New York, grew up in Georgia. Family lives in Key West. Guy's just a journeyman. And he had a hot hand, and nobody else could chase him down. It was a landslide win. I think, and I watched a chunk of it. I watched a lot of it on Sunday because I just wondered, okay, top of the leaderboard, here comes the pressure, here come the names. And they tried to chase him down, and he did not wilt. I mean, it was amazing, his consistency. And this whole thing exploded on Friday. He birdied the first 4 holes Friday in the second round, birdied right out of the gate. And then he eagled 18. And he took what was a traffic jam at the top of the leaderboard, and he ran away from him.
Yeah.
And at one point, he was 6 and 7 strokes ahead, which is absolutely amazing. And then when Rory McIlroy, when Jon Rahm made a run at him on Sunday, he answered. Birdie, birdie. Instead of being 3 up, it was back to 5. And those guys are running out of holes. He built a 7-stroke lead. He was challenged 3 different times. He went on the birdie binge. He was number 1 in putting for all 4 days.
Wow.
I mean, he was accurate as compared to Rory McIlroy, who couldn't sink anything, which is why he was so far back in the pack. He was number 2 on hitting greens in accuracy. He wasn't putting balls into bunkers. He wasn't putting them into the, what's it called? The gross, the high grass.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of looks like you're back 40 out here. He just kept making shots. He hit only 2 bunkers in 4 days.
That's amazing.
And yeah, and some of those holes, the 17th hole we had talked about was rebuilt and jury rigged and looked like a death trap. And there were 5 pothole bunkers.
Yeah.
He stayed out of all the trouble. I mean, he was just so accurate along the way. And he not only gets the Claret Jug, he wins $3 million. He now is part of the Ryder's Cup team. He's on the President's Cup team. I mean, it was pretty impressive. And meanwhile, back of the pack, I kept looking for names. And I had to go down the leaderboard to find Rory McIlroy, who had a cold putter, and Rahm, who had a bad start. And Xander disappeared. And Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson, holy cow. Double bogey. Between them, I think they had, I want to say, 5 double bogeys and 1 triple bogey between them. And they were down at the bottom of the leaderboard in the British Open. They didn't even make the cut. They're on a plane by Saturday morning going home. What a phenomenal victory for a journeyman. And all these golfers, including Rory McIlroy, just lined up by the tent as he walked up to sign his scorecard. And they were high-fiving him. So the guys really appreciate him. He was so cool. It was really neat.
It was amazing because every time I checked on the leaderboard, to your point, they were 4 or 5 strokes, away from him. He just kept it up the whole tournament. But the conditions were nuts. I mean, the rain was coming down and these guys had their hats turned around backwards. I mean, imagine playing in that and then having such a spectacular finish, not hitting the bunkers, having the top putting game in those conditions. Boy, I mean, what a weekend for him.
And what did I tell you at the end of last week on our Thursday podcast? I said that you're going to play in the British Open, John. You got to play the leaderboard. And you got to play the course, which is really jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the way, you may have to play the weatherman. And Sunday, I mean, it was raining sideways with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. And the ball hit the green and sat there. It didn't roll, it didn't bounce. But the elements were so bad, you could spray the thing and the wind could take it off. And I thought of you trying to play out of a 6-foot deep pothole bunker.
Yeah, some of those were brutal. I mean, just like an uphill slope to get out of those things. Unbelievable.
So what a great story about just a lifer. Now the greatest moment of his life in Brian Harman. On we go next time.